trips when they began dating in 1984 after meeting at a computer conference. The trips continued even after the pair broke up in 1987. Gates revealed he even sought Winblad's approval before proposing to Melinda.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. I'm sorry. Yo, it's mad. As you just heard the clip there yourself, I think there's a level of madness in human beings, but this is a level I've not seen just yet. A whole man asks his ex-girlfriend if he can marry the next girl, and you think your marriage is going to last? You think your marriage is going to last? Let's get deep into this conversation. We're going to touch on Kevin Samuels as well a little bit within this conversation as well. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. Listen, you lot have been buying this by the dozen. This is selling out. I'm not going to lie to you. Stay hydrated, guys, okay? Because the streets are hot, okay? All right? Summer's coming around the corner. Get your t-shirt, get your hoodie. I'm going to have to start doing a vest as well for you guys as well. But stay hydrated out here, okay? Because the streets are hot. Let's talk about some stuff. Let's talk about some stuff today, okay? Now, you just watched that clip speaking about the arrangement that Bill Gates had before he got married. Now, Bill Gates had an ex-girlfriend, I think Annie Winnabold, who he dated previously, right? They broke up, but they used to go on these annual trips every year. Now, I think one thing about Annie Winnabold, I think that was for him was that they had this great intellectual connection, right? They were on the same level. It's probably one of the few people that way he can talk to, and he felt like, you know what, that's my co-equal in terms of talking. Although he has said, I saw in a clip before where he spoke about, you know, his current wife, Melinda, being an equal of intellect. So I think there is levels to the intellect that he's talking about. Obviously, what he gets with Annie, I don't know, but it's something obviously special enough for him that every year they go on a trip, right? And they go off on a trip, etc., right? And actually, he worked that into an arrangement in their marriage. This is where Kevin Samuels is going to come in a second or two as well, right? He worked that as an arrangement into the marriage, which she accepted. I'm going to say this. Money killeth my people. Money killeth my people. In what world is it that you would accept your partner saying, before I get married to you, okay, I want to make sure that I'm allowed to go every year on a trip solo with my ex-girlfriend, or even a best friend who's a female? In what world would that be acceptable? Only the world where you are considering money above everything else. Sorry to say it, right? Sorry to say it. I can't foresee how you go. You know, I trust him. Allow that talk. Allow that talk. Okay, I don't want to hear that talk. Money became an instrument and the foundation of a relationship. Why would it not crack? This was based on an arrangement, a business proposal. This is less about love. I'm thinking love came into it. Don't get twisted. Love came into it. Don't get twisted. Love came into it. But this is more, it almost feels like a business proposal. It feels like more of a contract than actually being about the fact that there's a covenant that you two, and this is why I think the world and we as Christians especially need to really put the imprint of what marriage is really for. Marriage is that it's a covenant, it's a union between two people aligning together, right? To glorify God in that instance. Number one, it's meant to replicate the relationship we have with God. Number two, we're meant to bring godly offspring. Now, if you can't do that, that is not to say your marriage is not a good one. That's to say that God just doesn't want this. God just didn't allow that to happen for your particular marriage, and that's fine. You're still glorifying God. I'm just saying about the extra parts of it, the godly offspring that comes from the union that you two have. First and foremost, though, is that your marriage is to represent Christ and the church, almost in a sense, right? It's not Christ and church, but it's to represent that mystical union that we have to becoming one. So the importance of marriage isn't necessarily your finances and stuff like that. The importance of this marriage is that it showcases how tough it is to be in a union. Number two, it's to show as well how great, look, I should even say number one, how great God is when he unifies with us and marries us to the Lamb, because when he marries us, there is no divorce with me and him. The way that he's married us to Christ, there is no divorce. And so our marriages are meant to almost kind of replicate that in a sense, and show us as well just how far we are away from being perfect. It's to highlight our flaws and also as well to enable us to love. You see, God loves you even in your disparity, even in your darkness, even in your failures, even in your intentional sins that you and I both do. Christ still loves us. The Father still loves us through Christ. Okay. And so when you're in your marriage, what you are doing is almost replicating the same relationship, the Father and us coming together, where you're looking at a person going, you mean I gotta love you even when you're moving mad? You mean I gotta love you even when you've done me wrong? You mean I gotta love you? And that's why the 1 Corinthians 13 is so important. It talks about how love covers a multitude of sins. Now, some of you are here probably saying, I didn't come for the Christian sermon. Well, you're gonna get it anyway. So, you know, the Melinda and the Bill situation. What's really interesting is that there was an arrangement that was made before this marriage, before his marriage took place. And not only that, he actually asked his ex-girlfriend before he married her. Now, if that doesn't make you start on the wrong foot when you're going to get married, I don't know what is. Okay? I don't know what is. This is what the Bible says. It's either mammon or God. When you serve mammon, you make decisions like this, where you say, listen, I'm happy for you to have an arrangement with your ex-girlfriend. Why? Because it isn't. Your security is more important. Hypergamy is more important. You securing your family's future for next generations is more important. I get it. You almost became an incubator for the man. You know? But, you know, there was love. I did watch some videos where they said there was love involved at first, etc., etc. But he came with an arrangement. At that point, you got to say no. If a girl came to me and said, listen, look, I have an arrangement with my ex-partner. We go on holiday every single year. I know I love you and I know you love me. But if you allow me to go for this one day in the year, we can get married and have a happy ever life after. I'm going to look at you like you damn crazy. You can go on that trip. Go and be single. Go and be single. That's like us asking God, hey, look, I want to be saved. I want to be in the house of the Lord, but I just want to continue sinning. Okay, I want to continue fornicating. I want to continue swearing. I want to continue in the club. I want to continue doing all the things I was doing beforehand and still have my marriage with you. Not a problem at all. Okay, that's my ex-girlfriend right there. And I love her, all right? And I appreciate her, but, you know, I love you more. But I just want to be able to go on one, give me one time a year, Lord, where I can go and do all the madness I wanted to do. It doesn't work like that. If you've left it, you've left it. If it's up, then it's up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, let it go. So here's where Kevin Samuels comes in. Kevin Samuels made a video some weeks back, and I did have to agree with parts of what he said. Now, I know some of you are like, don't become like Kevin Samuels. I'm not going to, but you have to understand truth can be truth. And he said about how the rich or the high value men don't cheat. They have arrangements. Okay. And this is an example of that particular thing where he's not cheated. He's made an arrangement. So there is some truth to what Kevin Samuels says. Like I've always said, there is always truth. There's always some truth to what he says. I just don't like, most of the time, I don't like his delivery. And there's some things that I think are not biblical, but hey, that's another story. But in that case, he was actually right. You know, the high value men are making arrangements. And as a woman, you've got to ask yourself this question. Are you thinking more about the money than you are love? Because let me tell you something. Listen, the money will always come first. The job will always come first. Their career will always come first. Their purpose will always come first. This is why I talk about, and bear in mind, Bill Gates is not an alpha male, okay? He's more like a delta or a gamma or an omega male who became rich, which I've told you guys about this in my other video. I talked about alphas, omegas, delta, sigmas. I did a video about it. When they become rich, their social awareness doesn't increase. Okay, they're still the same person they were beforehand. They just got money. And as a woman, if you're looking at just securing yourself financially and you go after someone like Bill Gates, who's going to make an arrangement before you start the thing, I can't look at you and be, well, you know, I can look at you and go, well, you sis, you made your bed, you got to lie in it. Right? You made your bed, you got to lie in it. And probably maybe that was an arrangement they had, you know, stay with me for 25, 30 years and divorce after that. Maybe that's the arrangement they had. And that works for them. You know what I mean? But if you're unaware of this situation, my friend, ladies, please pay attention. If you're unaware of this, before you start screaming high value male, I want you to look at this point of view. If this is a mindset of a man that you're meeting, it's a case by case perspective, by the way, as well. If you're meeting a high value male in terms of finances, I'm talking about in terms of finances, power, wealth, and status, not necessarily in terms of character. But if you're meeting a man like this, and this is his mindset, you have to ask yourself, will I willingly sell myself for the next 30 years for money? If you're cool with that, then cool, go ahead of it. I'm not actually rubbishing you. I'm just wanting to make you aware of the choice that you're making, which is what Kevin Samuels does actually do. And I can't hate him on that. Do you know what I mean? I've always said that I can't hate him on those truths that he says. Money will kill my people. That's why the Bible says the love of money killeth. The love of money, okay, is the root of all evil. The love of money, okay? The love, not money itself, but the love of money, you know, is a root of all evil. Now, here's the thing about most marriages that end in divorce. Most marriages end in divorce not necessarily just because of money, lack of commitment, lack of romance, and lack of attention. Oftentimes, because marriages are oftentimes initiated by women. A majority of the time, 2/3, I believe, are initiated by women, and they're not under infidelity most of the time. They're under, obviously, I can't remember the other one, what it's called. Basically, it's a very large blanket. But within that very large blanket, oftentimes what it is lack of commitment, lack of attention, and a lack of romance from their partner. The man just stops doing certain things, and that's where the issues kind of creep in, where divorce kicks in, right? And so the mere fact that Melinda got into a marriage beforehand, into a marriage where the ex had to approve, and she had to allow the man to go on a holiday. Eventually, of course, his behavior is going to change towards you eventually, you know. But the issue is, I don't think that's what caused the divorce. I don't think that's what caused the divorce. Now, you know, if she's been having this arrangement for how many years and has been acceptable for it, it may not have been the fall down. Now, maybe it could have been. Maybe she came to her senses after 18. Because remember, you have to remember, women too as well, they stay in situations where, especially with their kids, you want to make sure that last child that they have, I think they have 3 kids, is at a stable level before you leave, right? A lot of women do think like that. Oh, I want to make sure that the family is stable before I decide to leave. And so I think that last child now is 18, which is at that age where they're getting on to almost adulthood. Now it's okay to now kind of leave the situation, right? Rightly or wrongly, whether men agree or women wouldn't agree, that's what potentially could also be a situation. Now, there's also another aspect which has been added into it, which is the Epstein relationship that they had, that Bill Gates had, which he disagreed with back in 2011. I think they made friendship with, and then 2013, and again, I believe they got closer. Maybe Bill Gates and Epstein in 2000, I believe, was it 15? I think, or 14 it was. And she made noise that she was concerned about the relationship because he had been convicted of being someone who done things with underage girls, okay, solicited their services. So, you know, she didn't want him to be around that. Now, imagine if you're a partner and your partner willingly, not just, he willingly wants to go and chill with somebody who intentionally, consistently, not on a one-time basis, but on a regular basis, wants to utilize young girls and exploit them sexually. Well, how would you feel? No, real spit. Would you be comfortable? You might not be so comfortable too. You know what I mean? And maybe she was plotting her exit. You know, maybe she was plotting her exit. You know what I mean? And so, you know, powerful men like Bill Gates will do whatever they feel like they can do because they can do. They've got money to do it. Money enables them to do whatever they want to do. You know, and like I said, going back to arrangement is a ticking time bomb. It's a ticking time bomb, right? And it gives that woman who's an ex a voice. The fact that the ex is approving that you should go for this woman, just tell you everything you need to know, bro. Like, you got done out here, Melinda. Do you know what I mean? Right? And the thing about powerful men like Bill Gates is that they're so focused on purpose and what they're doing and what they're called to do and doing more, that the Bible lets us know that, listen, hey, look, men who have a family, their focus can't be fully on God because they have to think about their family. The ministry that you have with your family is also it's a first ministry before things like church. Your family is your first ministry before your business. Understand that. You know, that even the Bible lets us know that a man will struggle, not even struggle, but he won't be as focused on Christ as he needs to be because he's focused on his family. That's the divide of attention. Even God understands the principle. How much more should human beings understand that a man who's so focused on his career path goals and achieving things might not give you the attention that you require, but should do that? And this is why godly principles are what bring a marriage to work. Godly principles. Not even people who are Christians or people who have godly perspective on love will make their marriage work. You know? So, you know, I think, you know, in their relationship between Bill Gates and Melinda, the divorce has been pending for years upon years, but she's waited and bided her time for the right time. Okay. You know, and it's interesting. Like I said, I think I think obviously if you're a person watching this, if you allow someone to have so much say who's an ex-partner into your new marriage, you're already asking for your marriage to fall down and crack and fall and die. Like honestly, like you're asking for your marriage to be tarnished and broken and to be finished. Evidently, you know what I mean? You don't let someone else's voice who is not supposed to be there have a say and weight and gravity within your relationship. That's a mazzoline. And then you allow them to go on one time a year. Anyway, listen, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. And listen, stay hydrated. Grab your Audi, yeah? Grab your Audi and get involved. You understand? Like,